Itaola.
All right, here we go.
Ko Betway ba tshepela hore o tshwantse o betjhe ka tsela e nepahetseng.
Ka nako e nngwe ho tlamehile hore o ikhule hanyane.
Ka nako tse ding
O ska leka go busha tše di lahlegilego.
Nakusasa kuse olunye usuku.
Dlala ngokusemandleni wakho.
Ge o tlhoka thušo re gona.
hopola, bet responsibly.
Bets is brought to you by Betway.
All right, let's get into the weekend of bets that are ahead of us. But tonight, don't forget, there is still Europa League, another boring round of teams that you've never heard of in Europe. Manchester United playing, I can't even pronounce them. Let me give you some of the names. AZ Alkmaar are playing Ferencvárosi Budapest. Right?
Yes.
Then there's Bordeaux Glimt against OG Nice, or Nice. Olympiacos Piraeus against, here we would say Karabag FK because we say Ibera, but this
Iberga,
is probably Karabag. Yeah. Then there's Glasgow up against Union Saint Gilloise. The odds don't look amazing. I don't know enough about that league to take any bets there. But if I am taking any bets this weekend, and we'll get to Kev's in a second, let's look at the Betway SA 220, which is shaping up to be the Pole Royals here. The Cape Town, MI Cape Town team qualified yesterday.
Correct, yes.
So they're definitely into the playoffs. But tonight, it's the Josie Super Kings up against Pole Royals, who will definitely be in the final. We are quite assured of that. But let's just take a look at some of the permutations, because without even knowing the fixtures, you've got Pole Royals on 28 points. You've got MI Cape Town on 26. So they're pretty much guaranteed. It's the Eastern Coast Sunrisers. I keep getting that wrong.
Eastern Coast.
So they're on 19 points, right? JSK on 15 and Pretoria Capitals on 14. It's very unlikely that the Super Kings will win tonight against Pole Royals. I wouldn't take a bet against Pole Royals at the moment. In fact, I said the same thing about Liverpool in December and stupidly made a bet against them. While they were playing Leicester, they went 1-0 down. And as they were losing, I was sitting with a bunch of Liverpool fans and thought, well, I'm just going to bet on Leicester because they were 7.5 to 1, meaning if I put $100 on, I was going to win 750 Rand just for Leicester beating Liverpool, knowing fairly well that I was throwing $100 away. Anyway, I lost $100, but I don't think you can lose money on Pole Royals if you're going to bet. What is interesting is that while I was on the site, I went to play this catch game. So if you've been to any of the games, you know that if you catch
The ball with one hand.
with one hand, you can win $1 million, right? Or a share of $1 million. However, if you play this catch game on the Betway site, you can win your share of $6 million. You can triple it.
Oh,
So it's of $2 million, not $1 million.
news I could have used.
So hold on. So I think to myself, I want to go and see what the buzz is, because every person who's caught that ball has not played the game. So what the game is, literally, I'll explain it to you. You literally, a ball bowls to a cricketer who hits the ball, and then the ball flies. And as the ball flies, it multiplies. It's kind of like the aviator. So it goes, if you bet 10 Rand, it's going times 1, times 1.5, times 2. But if you don't hit exit before the ball gets caught, you lose your money.
Oh.
Right. So if you bet 2 Rand and you win, it goes up by, multiplies by 4, you win 8. But the point is, if you don't play the game, you don't get the share of the 6 million. And literally nobody's played the game. It is, when they say money for jam, it's literally money.
Yeah, there's a bit of a mismatch there. Why not?
Well, it's not a complicated game. It's not like you've got to jump through hoops and give.
If you can play Pac-Man, you can play this.
Yeah, give a blood sample and
Urine sample, nothing.
Like when you get a visa, right? Anyway, I just thought it was really funny. So, money's on Pole Royals. On the day with cricket, as you know, anything can happen. We were chatting with Herschel Gibbs yesterday, who says the way these guys play on one pitch, they forget, and then the next day they play well, and the next day they don't play well. But Pole Royals have won their last 5 out of 5. Cannot see them losing against Josie, even at the Bull Ring. If you've got money, you can put it on them. But let's get to the Premier League, because we've got to get to the Derby shortly. That's the big one. I know where my money's going for the Derby, but
Really, where?
Did you hear him do
I
the
heard
ghost?
something in the background.
Do the ghost says Pirates. Well, maybe. I'll reveal it. I'll reveal it to you later. Let's look at the big fixtures this weekend, and there have been some surprises. Everton against Leicester. Now Everton won last week, and they've got odds of winning this game against Leicester at 1.8 to 1. So if you put down a rand, you'll win R2 back. But Leicester to beat Everton at home are 4.5. Now, I don't know. I think Everton was a bit of a flash in the pan. I can't see them winning.
I don't either.
And a draw will pay you R3.65 for every rand you put down. I mean, Everton have lost 1-1 their last 5. Leicester have lost 4 of their last 5 games, but I still think they're a better side. And I think at the moment, maybe Everton with David Moyes back there have started to shine a little bit. They're in 16th place. They are 2 spots above the relegation zone. And they did shock Brighton. I mean, that 1-0 win, to me, I think everybody had Brighton as odds-on favourites still in that one. There was absolutely no way Everton were walking away with a win. But Leicester are a place below them, and a point ahead of Wolves, which is really disappointing for me, because Wolves, and I keep saying it, they play really great attacking football, and I feel they've been really unlucky. But Leicester did win their last game against Spurs. But we won't speak about Spurs at the moment. But again, for Saturday's matches, I'm taking Everton, or Kevin's taking Everton to win.
Aren't you, Kevin?
At just under 2 to 1. So it's not a bad bet. It's probably a fairly safe bet. For me, no, I would go with Leicester, but Kevin's going with Everton. Now the big match of the weekend. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think we must kick it out. We must kick it out. Tell the defenders to kick it out. I don't agree with this. Sorry, I'm going French. I'm trying to imitate Mikel Arteta. Arsenal against Man City, not a title decider. I don't think everybody's talking about it as a title decider. Definitely not. I don't think either of these teams are going to win the title. But if Arsenal win, their odds are 2 to 1. City have got worse odds, would you believe? The game is at the Emirates. And I don't know, based on City's form at the moment, I'd probably think they might win. But a draw will pay you more than the other two.
Okay.
So Kevin's going with a draw here. And both teams to score. Yes pays almost R2 to 1, and no pays just over R2 to 1. So both teams to score and a draw. It's not the worst prediction. City, for all that they've had a fairly bad run, haven't lost a game in the last 5. Neither, of course, of Arsenal. But I think Arsenal have been fairly ineffective, and coming out of Champions League last night, I think Arsenal were pretty good. They got a great result, but City have found a few young players, a few new players. I can't think of all of their names at the moment, but even with Arsenal second and 6 behind Liverpool, their win over Girona, and this youngster Ethan Nwaneri scored in his debut, right? That's a good sign for them. But having made his debut at Brighton when he was 15, he's now starting to really shine. But City came from behind against Club Brugge, and it's something they haven't done for a while. You'll remember that City were always a team that went ahead, and if they did go behind, they quickly came back, scoring within minutes. And they seem to have found that groove again. That's what it feels like. So you make your choice. I'm a bit undecided. What's your take?
I would say go with Man City to win this one. I don't think it's safe here. Both teams to score.
Both teams to score, absolutely. I think this will probably be within the 2-2 or 2-3 range. Kevin says the draw pays R3.55 to every rand you put down. If they draw and you put down $100, $355 goes into your account. Kitching. Ipswich with Southampton. Oh God, this is really the minnows. They're giving better odds to Southampton to win, making them the less favourites. Ipswich to win at 194 to 1. Southampton to win at R3.85, and a draw again here pays R3.60. So very likely both teams to score, I would guess, because their holes, their defences are like sieves. They've got very leaky holes, both of them. if you look at their results, there's nothing to write home about. Both have lost their last 3 matches quite convincingly. And so I can't see anything here other than Kevin's not even taking a team to win here. He's just taking both teams to score. I would back Ipswich here. I'd take it at R2 to 1 certainly on a multi-bet. And looking at the current multi-bet, 181, 355, and 360, I think there would be some really nice multi-bet wins out of this. Southampton, they've got this coach Ivan Juric. He's kind of happy with them, even though they lost 3-1 to Newcastle. But I just can't see Southampton coming right. They are going away. And unfortunately, I don't know. I'm going with Ipswich here. Kev, I think you missed a beat here. Those are the bets. So let's just revise. Everton versus Leicester. Everton to win at 181 or 181. Arsenal versus Manchester City. A draw pays 355. Both teams to score there, which he hasn't taken. But the Ipswich versus Southampton, he's taken both teams to score with a payout of 167. And then, ladies and gentlemen, can I do it again?
We need a drum roll also.
Well, how do I do it? Does that sound like... Yeah, that's more of a horn. Can you do a vuvuzela? Abdu's got his vuvuzela out for Orlando Pirates this weekend. I'll get to Kevin's bet, but I don't think there is anything other than a Pirates win this weekend.
Rivera has had 5 derbies. Naby comes into his very first one.
On pure form and on pure momentum and the absolute, I guess, psyches of the teams. And this is looking at it from afar because I don't watch the league as closely as I probably should. But what I have seen of Orlando Pirates and what I have seen of Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates are undoubtedly the second best team in the Betway Premiership this year. They have played magnificent football. They've won a trophy through cheating, which is not their fault. That was
I
the
can't
ref.
believe you said that.
Well, it's absolutely true. But from a premiership point of view, I just cannot see Kaizer Chiefs. There's been a lot of drama with the coach. When I say a lot of drama, there's always drama because, I don't know, they focused on cricketing deals and, I don't know, Bobby Motang's in the change room selecting players here. And maybe that isn't true, but I just can't see the consistency at Chiefs that I've seen at Pirates.
When it comes to derby, it's different, though. It's different. It comes with a different air and a different grace, and maybe they put their best boot forward on that day because so much is at stake. It is the Soweto derby at the end of the day. But then look at a Pirates who were really good at cup games, and that could not translate into the league. We're only seeing it this season come together for them. So maybe Chiefs should also be given the grace to find their feet with Coach Naby, who goes into his very first derby. And I do think there's a different, yes, on paper, Pirates are definitely stronger and the ones to probably win this derby. But then, like I said, it comes with a different hunger and a different energy on this particular day. And it might just be the win that Chiefs kind of need in front of a sold-out 90,000-seater stadium for them to kind of get back that boost of confidence.
Well, maybe they might require some muti.
Which I don't think will be short on the day. Do not walk in either one of the team's dugouts if you're a woman.
Kevin's taking a draw at $3.40, but Chiefs to win. Just to give you an indication of the odds on this, Chiefs to win are at 520. They've got long odds. They are certainly not the favourites in terms of the bookies. They're saying Pirates to win at 169. If I'm betting on anybody here, I'm absolutely going with the Orlando Pirates. Before we get to our big guest, though, the last bet, and we'll cover off the ticket in a little while. Kevin's taken the Joburg Super Kings at 195 to 1 to win against Paul tonight.
He's
think
taken the Super Kings. He always does
His
that.
medication is clearly not working.
He always does that.
Because he is sick, but he's taken it. We'll give you the booking code. I'll put it up on the screen for you just now, but we'll come back to that in a second and give you the final look at Kev's Betway bets. But more importantly, right now we've got to speak to somebody who knows the show.
I don't do it as well as you do, though, Baba. Welcome.
Hello, Romy, and good morning to everybody.
How are you looking forward, or how much are you looking forward to this weekend's game as a fan, without identifying who your loyalties lie with, but just as a fan? I think it should as always be a great moment.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and good morning again to everybody. As a football fan, sitting on the couch watching football like any other football fan, it's 2 weeks of euphoria in terms of what people think about football and what I think about football, and particularly the Soweto Derby. From day one, when the derby was played on the 24th of January 1970, the euphoria started then. It has always captured my mind and all football fans. Every football fan in South Africa would want to see either on television, on radio, or maybe even be live at the stadium to watch the Soweto Derby. For myself, it's something that I've always believed that can change how we look at things in South Africa in terms of sport. Because if you look, we're the only country in the world whereby rival fans sit together in a derby. You never find that anywhere in the world. You can go to Turkey and Galatasaray and I've forgotten the other team. They'll never sit together. Liverpool and Everton never sit together. Man United and Man City, they'll never sit together. You know, any other, even in Spain, Atletico and Real Madrid, they'll never sit together. You see, even in Italy, AC and Inter, they'll never sit together. Though they all use San Siro, but they'll never sit together. So that for me, it's an element that is different from anybody in the world. However, having said that, I feel that small element has taken away the rivalry part. And maybe that's one thing that I have a gripe with, that the people that support the teams, we should be separated. Pirates one side and Chiefs one side. But it's a captivating moment for every South African who loves football, because that 90 minutes, the country comes to a standstill. That's the difference from any other sport. Even the Springboks don't do that.
Very true. I think you hit the nail on the head there, though. I beg to differ when it comes to not sitting together, because I think it also speaks to us, who we are as South Africans, that we can be on opposing sides, yet still share the same benches here right next to each other. I think it adds a different element, like you said, Baba, and I don't think that should be taken away. I do want to know, though, where does your heart lie in terms of form, in terms of discipline, in terms of who exactly is playing the best football at the moment? And could the tables turn on this day, because so much is at stake when it comes to a derby?
Well, they always say derbies cannot be predicted. Well, I disagree, because it all depends on who believes that they can win the derby. Firstly, if you look at Kaizer Chiefs currently, they're not at their best in terms of combinations, and in terms of them believing in themselves that they can even win the derby for that matter, or win any game for that matter. Even their fans can tell you this. Whenever they're playing, whenever I go to grounds and talk to fans, they'll tell you, hey, I'm not even sure if you're going to win this. So the question is, if the fans don't believe, how much strength and courage does the players have to believe themselves that they can win this thing when their own supporters don't even believe? But in a derby, everybody believes that, no, we can win this derby because we have won it before. And we've always come back strong in a derby, even if we've been performing bad. The results over time have also shown us that in a derby, especially Soweto Derby, that has happened several times. When it comes to discipline on the Chiefs side, they've lacked very much on discipline. Inaccio's had red cards. Duba's had many yellow cards, and a couple of players already at Kaizer Chiefs. Marte also has had a lot of cards. Mteto has had cards. So all those, that shows you that discipline-wise, in terms of the playing field, they need to look after themselves. Otherwise, it's going to be a spoiled party on the day. Then another thing that you should look at also is about approach from Kaizer Chiefs on this one. Their coach is suspended. You served one game now. This is the second game. Is the approach going to be the same as what they would do when he's there or not? He might not be there, but they know in their minds that wherever he's sitting, he's watching and talking. I don't know if that talking was the game is on to his assistants or he's taking a team on the bench. I do not know. Coming to Orlando Pirates. Pirates are on a roll in all competitions. They're on a roll. They're scoring goals and they're also conceding less. That's very critical. If you score a lot of goals and not concede, in the Champions League already, Pirates has got 6, if not 5, clean sheets against top countries on the continent. In the league, they won't concede 2 goals. That shows you how strong Orlando Pirates is behind Mamelodi Sundowns. Leave Sundowns in this one. When it comes to discipline, Pirates has not had the worst record in terms of yellow cards and red cards. No, they're clean. They have yellow cards, but not as bad as Kaizer Chiefs on the field of play. Coming to scoring goals, they've got people who can score goals from any position. Look at how many people have scored goals at Pirates. Mbata as a midfielder has scored goals. Relebule Mfokeng, the youngest player now to score so many goals in 10 goals in one season. He can score goals. Mabasa, the striker, can score goals. Mahupa has scored goals. Okay, Van Rooyen has scored goals. Kabelo Tlamini has scored goals. So already that shows you that even in Dar, the injured one, had scored goals before he got injured. So out of 11, you can have 6, 7 players who can score goals. Then you come to Kaizer Chiefs and do a direct comparison. Look at who's scoring at Chiefs now. They always have to rely on one player, which is Chabalala. Then they have to wait for Mfundo Vilakazi always to come from the bench as an impact player to come and score for them. So if you compare in terms of scoring form and defensive form, Pirates always come top will come top compared to Kaizer Chiefs. However, having said that, a derby on the day is different. Chiefs will always beat anybody when it comes to numbers. I don't care if Pirates is winning the league by 20 points ahead of everybody. But Chiefs supporters, on the day, they'll show up. Remember, they still have the largest following in the country, over 4 million plus supporters at Kaizer Chiefs. And Pirates is still left behind with 2.9 million around there. So when it comes to showing up at the stadium, Chiefs fans will show up and do their thing. That noise will overpower Pirates noise. But Pirates noise is very simple. Score goals, and then you've got the noise.
I guess Pirates noise is on the pitch, Chiefs noise in the stands. Baba, you painted an amazing picture of what we can expect this weekend. So I guess, Kevin, there's no even guessing where, if Baba had to place a bet, where that bet would go.
No, I think on form, I have to agree with you. And I was saying, Baba, that at the moment, I don't think there's any choice between the team. But what happens on big days like this, and players will always tell you this, I'm sure you've spoken to many over the years, and whether it's a local derby or an international derby, is your effort and your adrenaline and your energy becomes higher. It's the same way as why Manchester United do well against big teams and poorly against poor teams. And if you listen to former players, I was listening to Neil Tovey and I can't think of his name at the moment.
Gavin Lane.
No, it was one of the older players from Pirates, but it could have been Gavin. But they were saying how you don't need motivation for the derby. The derby is the motivation, and actually coming out there, it's not just a league game. It's almost like a cup final, and everybody's coming out to win. There was a time actually a few years ago where I became very disenchanted with the derby because there were a number of draws, because I think the players were so scared of losing that they actually played to a number of draws. But the attacking football that we've seen in the Premier League, not in the Premier League, in the Betway Premiership, has been so enthralling, particularly from Sundowns and even from Stellenbosch, Magesi. But Pirates have been particularly prolific. And I hate to use words like that, but they've been wonderful to watch. They've scored, as you say, amazing goals. This Mofokeng is just an absolute machine. And even if Chiefs do play well, they're going to have to play 7 times better to get a result here against Pirates, just based on form. I can't see another result.
Remember what happened last season, the last game they played. Chiefs were ahead 2 goals by Betway. And Pirates showed their mental, showed their character, that they're a better team when it comes to mental strength and giving their all. And Pirates eventually won the game 3-2. And guess what? An unknown player on his debut scored a beautiful goal for Pirates, Thabiso Lebitso. And that made a name for himself. So in a derby, most players, they know the derby can make or break you. If you play exceptionally well, score an exceptional goal, and do something extraordinary. Because in football, when the tough goal gets going, you need somebody who can conjure up something unusual, exceptional, eccentric, that no one can be able to match on the day. And Pirates plays with finesse, they play with swagger, they play with brilliance, all the nice ways that we can think about. Pirates is playing with them. But Kaizer Chiefs, on the other hand, like I said, they rely mainly on player number 12, which is the other crowd, to spare them on. And still, Kaizer Chiefs know, if you go back from the first derby they played in 1970, the score there was 6-4. 10 goals were scored on the day. And Pirates scored the first goal on the day with Chipamloy. And if you come with a history as it comes this way, Chiefs has always been known that in a derby, it doesn't matter how bad they play, they'll always try their best. In the last 5 derbies that have passed, they've won 3, Pirates has won 2. So I agree with you that on the day, in a derby, international or local, it can happen that the team that is on form, winning things left, right, and center, can be hit by a sucker punch from nowhere and lose the game.
Baba, it just reminds me before we let you go, and we've got to cover off our Betway bet, but a very quick story many years ago, and you'll remember this day, FNB Stadium, FNB Super Cup, it was the Super Cup final, Pirates Chiefs. Terry Skosana comes on and scores 4, and Pirates win 4-0. And I happened to be at the stadium that day. I'm a Matsatsansa fan for my sins.
Oh.
But I happened to be in the stands with all the Chiefs fans wearing black and white. So
It was in 1996. It was the Bob Steve Super Bowl semi-final.
Correct. So I'm glad that the fans were allowed to sit together. That's all I'm saying, because it was very uncomfortable sitting with all the Chiefs fans wearing black and white.
No, I agree. It's going to be a beautiful game.
Exactly.
It's going to be a humdinger. The only problem is the weather. It's going to be hot again tomorrow. Very hot. But around 3:30, the sun is slowly setting down now, and the shadows are starting to expand within the playing surface. Yep. But down there on the playing surface, it's very hot than up in the stands.
I'd rather take hot than rain, Baba, definitely. But thank you so very much, Baba Mtetwa there, Betway ambassador, just chatting to us. And as you see, an encyclopedia when it comes to football, and especially the dog. Okay, X8D33F470. So that's a booking code. I'll do it again. X8D33F470.
So if you put down $10, you'll win 796 Rand and 64 cents. The multi-bet, again, just if you want to copy it, is as simple as all my notes all here together, which I can't find any of. But it's Everton to win at Leicester. It's a draw for Arsenal Man City. It's a yes for both teams to score Ipswich and Southampton. It's the Super Kings to win against the Paarl Royals tonight, and a draw between Pirates and Chiefs tomorrow. Those are the bets. Those are Kev's Betway bets. Take them if you like. If you don't like, go and make your own bets. And of course, if you're going to the cricket either tonight or over the weekend, make sure to play that cricket game.
You'll be there?
I am going. I haven't missed a home game yet.
Yes, no, you're
JSK. JSK.
We're back again tomorrow. Cheerio.
To all our believers,
to the gunners of Kopona,
to our drivers at Stoker's Arms,
to the believers at the Brazen Head, to Langa,
to Kwamashu,
I'm back. We hear you.
Now hear us.
Siyabonga.
Thank you.
Betway, the official global betting partner of Arsenal.
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omni Sport.